Everyone thinks the Ultra is always the smart buy. But the Galaxy S27 Pro could steal the spotlight with a 3.5x telephoto that fits real life better. Portraits, street shots, food pics, even pets. If that lens lands, the Ultra's 5x advantage suddenly looks less obvious. Here's the big idea. Zoom numbers don't automatically equal better photos. They equal a different look. And for daily shooting, that look matters more than bragging rights. The report right now is that the Galaxy S27 Pro could ship with a 50 megapixels telephoto at 3.5x optical zoom. Meanwhile, the S27 Ultra might stick to a 50 megapixels telephoto at 5x optical zoom. Same megapixels, different reach, totally different vibe. So why would anyone choose the shorter zoom? Because 3.5x is a sweet spot. It's the range where faces stay natural, noses don't stretch, heads don't get weird, the background still melts, the subject pops. It's the classic portrait feel without you standing across the street like a creep. Think about real moments. You're at dinner. You want to grab a clean shot of your friend laughing. You're not leaning over the table with the main camera. You're not backing into another table either. You tap the tail lens. Boom. The tight, flattering frame. That's where a 3.5x optic can shine. Now flip it. The 5x lens is awesome. It's dramatic. It pulls stuff closer. It's perfect for a stage, a kid in a school play, a sign on a building, or a candid across the park. But 5x can be awkward indoors. It can be too tight. You're constantly stepping back. And when you can't step back, the phone starts doing digital tricks. It crops. It blends. It sharpens. It guesses. Sometimes it nails it. Sometimes it gets that crunchy, over-processed look. That's the key point people miss. The dedicated mid-tail lens often gives cleaner, everyday close-up shots than a longer zoom that has to fake the middle range. So if you mostly shoot people, your food, your outfits, your pets, and quick street details, the S27 Pro's rumored 3.5x could actually feel more useful minute to minute. Now, I'm not saying the big model loses, not even close, because the S27 Ultra usually wins the full package battle. More camera options, more tuning, more hardware flex. And this year, there's another huge angle, the battery. There's a strong push in the leaks that the next Ultra could finally jump to silicon carbon power. That matters because it can pack more capacity into the same space. That's the dream, right? More battery without making the phone a brick. One leak points to Samsung SDI testing cells with massive capacities. Stuff like 12,000 milliamps test setups. Even 18,000 and 20,000 milliamps labels show up in the chatter. Now, before anyone freaks out, that doesn't mean a phone is getting a 20,000 milliamps battery. Those are test designations, lab work, prototypes, experiments. And the leak itself even hints at the problem. Longevity, charge cycles. They reportedly missed a target around 1,500 cycles, landing closer to 960 on at least one setup. That's not good enough for a flagship promise. But the exciting part is the direction. Samsung knows it's behind on battery tech compared to some Chinese brands, and the Ultra is the most likely place to debut a big swing. If the company wants to make a statement in 2027, this is how they do it. So now you've got a real decision forming. On one side, a rumored Pro tier that could finally make sense. Not a fake premium label. The model with a camera choice that feels tuned for normal life. The telephoto that makes portraits easy. The phone that might be slightly smaller, slightly lighter, and still ridiculously capable. On the other side, the top dog, the Ultra, the spec monster. The one that usually gets every extra feature Samsung has ready. And now it might get a new battery chemistry, plus new charging standards. Yep, QI2 shows up in the leak stream too. That's a big deal because it pushes better alignment and more consistent wireless charging. It's the kind of quality of life upgrade you notice every single day. Drop it on a stand. It locks in. It charges. No fuss. And then there's the design shift. Leaks claim a horizontal camera bar could replace the vertical stack on the Ultra. The pill-shaped strip across the back. Cleaner. More symmetrical. The little throwback. Some people are already comparing that look to older Samsung designs and to the Pixel style. Whether you love it or hate it, it signals something important. Samsung wants the next Ultra to look obviously new from across the room. That matters in a premium market where every slab of glass starts to look the same. Now back to the camera debate, because that's the fun part. If both lenses are 50 megapixels, the difference comes down to optics, framing, and how often you land in the native range. With a 3.5x lens, your go-to portrait shot might be fully optical. No stepping back, no heavy cropping, less processing, better natural detail, better hair strands, better skin texture, better edge separation around ears and glasses. With a 5x lens, your cleanest results happen farther out. Great for candid moments at a distance. Great for travel details. Great for compressing mountains and city lines. But for a lot of daily portraits, you might hover between 2x and 4x. And that's where the phone may blend data from other sensors. It can look amazing. It can also look slightly softer, especially indoors, especially in mixed lighting, especially when your subject moves. So here's the real question. What do you shoot most? If you're a portrait-first person, the rumored S27 Pro starts looking tempting fast. It's not about better on paper. It's about faster wins, more keepers, less fiddling. But if you want the most flexible kit, the Ultra still screams value. You get the longer reach. You probably get more computational features. You likely get the best display and the most complete hardware package. And if the silicon carbon jump actually lands, battery life could be a major reason to go big. Now, I also want to talk about the psychology of buying the Ultra. A lot of people buy it because it feels safe. It's the top model. It holds value. It's the one reviewers compared everything against. You don't second guess it later. But a Pro could change that pattern if Samsung positions it right. If it's priced below the Ultra. If it keeps a premium build. If it nails that telephoto choice. And if it doesn't cut the wrong corners, like storage speeds or cooling. That's the risk though. The word Pro only matters if it's truly premium. If Samsung makes it a halfway phone, people will smell it instantly. Tech fans don't forgive fake tears. Not anymore. So here's my take super clear. Would I buy the Galaxy S27 Pro rather than the S27 Ultra just for 3.5x? Only if that camera produces consistently better portraits in real lighting, and the rest of the phone stays close to the Ultra where it counts. Because if you're giving up too much, like display brightness, extra camera options, or battery tech, then a slightly nicer portrait look won't save it. But if Samsung nails the balance, the Pro becomes the smart pick for a lot of people. The ones who don't need extreme zoom every day. The ones who shoot friends more than buildings. The ones who want a killer camera without the biggest, heaviest body. And that's why these leaks are so exciting. They suggest Samsung might finally split the best camera idea into two directions. One phone for reach, one phone for portraits. That's not confusion. That's a choice. Now we wait for the next wave of leaks. The sensor sizes, the aperture, the processing changes, the pricing, the actual camera samples if they ever appear. Because when Samsung makes a small optical decision, it can change the entire feel of a phone. And if the Ultra also lands a new battery and QI2, then we're looking at a lineup that finally feels fresh again. The rumored 3.5x telephoto on the S27 Pro sounds perfect for daily portraits and close framing. The S27 Ultra still looks like the safer all-around pick with longer reach and likely extra hardware perks. Your choice comes down to what you shoot most. Pick the lens that matches your life, not the spec sheet. So here's my challenge for you. Check your last 50 photos right now. How many are portraits or close moments? If that's most of them, a 3.5x lens might be your perfect fit. Tell me your pick. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates. See you in the next one.